News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini. Some drama unfolding on Capitol Hill today. North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis now says he won't seek re-election. That follows a primary threat from President Trump. He says it's not a hard choice and he won't be seeking re-election. He was one of the most vulnerable senators up for re-election next year. The decision could help Senate Democrats' uphill quest to flip the Senate in next year's midterms. Yesterday, Tillis voted to oppose advancing President Trump's tax and spending bill. That drew the ire of President Trump, who said on Truth Social he was planning on meeting with those interested in running against Tillis in the coming go-around. And the drama on Capitol Hill continues as Republicans continue to work on getting more support for the Senate version of President Trump's tax bill. President Trump, meantime, says he has identified a buyer for the U.S. operations of TikTok's U.S. operations. He says that it will be a group of very wealthy people and will learn who it is in 2 weeks. Trump earlier said he would extend for the third time a deadline for ByteDance to sell the U.S. portions of TikTok, which would give the company 90 days beyond June 19. President Trump also talking about slapping tariffs on multiple countries as a July 9 deadline looms for deals with the U.S. or else.
There's 200 countries. You can't talk to all of them, no matter how many people you have. You can't talk to all of them. We'll send a letter.
A letter that President Trump tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures will say if there isn't a deal, they'll be paying more in tariffs, and the letter will tell the countries what their tariff rate is unless they've been having negotiations and heard it directly from the U.S. The U.K. is one of the few countries that has landed a deal with the U.S. on trade, and Japanese officials indicating they're making progress. Separately, President Trump has said he could slap new tariffs on Canadian goods this coming week after Canada's digital services tax that will hurt U.S. tech companies goes into effect tomorrow. And the Bank for International Settlements, meantime, warning resurgent U.S. inflation could unfold due to President Trump's trade policies, putting prospects for soft landings in jeopardy. Plenty of economic data to look out for in the week ahead, including a June jobs report. Bloomberg's Karen Moscow has more.
On Tuesday, investors get a look at ISM manufacturing, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, JOLTS job openings, and construction spending. Wednesday, it's private payrolls from ADP. The June jobs report is out Thursday, with the financial markets scheduled to close early ahead of the 4th of July holiday. We'll also get a look at the weekly report on initial jobless claims, factory orders, and trade. Markets are closed Friday for Independence Day. Karen Moscow, Bloomberg Radio.
North Korea next week will open a signature coastal tour site that it says will usher in a new era in its tourism industry, though there's no word on when the country will fully reopen to foreign visitors. More from Bloomberg's Dan Schwartzman.
The Wonsan-Kalma Coastal Tourist Zone and its hotels will open this coming Tuesday for nearly 20,000 guests who will be able to swim in the sea, engage in sports and recreational activities, and eat at restaurants and cafeterias on site. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has been pushing to make the country a tourism hub as part of efforts to revive the ailing economy, and the Wonsan-Kalma Zone is one of his most talked about tourism projects. But North Korea hasn't fully lifted a ban on foreign tourists that it imposed back in early 2020 to guard against the COVID-19 pandemic. Dan Schwartzman, Bloomberg Radio.
And Apple's new Formula One car racing film, F1, roaring to the top of the box office in its debut.
When was the last time you won a race?
Taking in $55.6 million in U.S. and Canadian theaters. Picture stars Brad Pitt as an aging driver returning for one more go on the circuit. It was expected to generate about $50 million going into the weekend, according to an estimate from Box Office Pro. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Denise Pellegrini, and this is Bloomberg.